NV Energy is creating a plan for the entire state, but they wanted to talk to people here because they say Mount Charleston is at high risk for wildfires and high winds.
Well, right at halftime, we lost power up here for about 3 or 4 hours.
High winds knocked out the power while Mike McGroarty was watching the Super Bowl.
Of course, yesterday being the Super Bowl, we actually staged extra crews, extra teams, positioned and ready.
McGroarty lives in a tight-knit community on Mount Charleston. He was at last summer's meeting when NV Energy announced it would turn off power as a last resort during extreme weather like wildfires.
Hopefully they would consider us, because without power up here, we're pretty isolated.
NV Energy says it's working with businesses on the mountain to set up generators, and it'll make sure cell service won't be cut.
As the communities lose Wi-Fi, when they lose power, they go onto their phones with data, and apparently it's the data that overwhelms some of the towers. So that is one thing that we'll talk about.
We support the plan as far as the fire district.
New technology like wildfire cameras and weather stations are also in the works. NV Energy says it'll make major upgrades across the valley.
Communities like this are at the very end of long lines. And even this community, we're replacing its major transmission line with steel towers.
Most of the valley's power grid was built decades ago. In its new plan for the state, NV Energy is preparing for the worst case scenario in areas hardest hit.
Even for monsoons, there's areas of the town that struggle with monsoons, and there's areas that are really very resilient. So some of the newer areas of town, whether that's some parts of Henderson and Summerlin, do really very well. A lot of underground, a lot of big steel construction. Some of the original older parts of Vegas still have a lot of wood overhead lines, and even those we're patrolling, inspecting, and getting those in much better shape.
And NV Energy will file this plan with the state on March 1st. Tiana Bonner, Fox 5 News, local Las Vegas.